Welcome to the J. Will Podcast. This podcast is for informational purposes and should not be considered a legal, health, or tax advice of any kind. If you would like to donate to the J. Will Podcast, locate the donate feature on the rss.com homepage or via Cash App at $J. Will Podcast. Now, here's your host, J. Will.
What's going on? What's going on? This is your boy, J. Will, your host of the J. Will Podcast. Listen, thank you for tuning in. I have a very great young man that's going to be on here with me tonight. Very special guest of mine. But first, if you love strong coffee, I need you to go over to strongcoffeecompany.com and purchase some of their coffee, and you'll receive a 20% discount if you use the promo code J. Will Podcast. StrongCoffeeCompany.com. That's right. J. Will has sponsors now. I got a couple more sponsors lined up. I just couldn't get all the information to tell you online, but you'll be hearing from it really soon. If you haven't done so already, go to your Play Store. Ladies and gentlemen, I promise you don't want to miss this. Go to your Play Store and download the Live 365 app. When you do that, type in J. Will Gospel Radio, and you can listen to my radio station, J. Will Gospel Radio, 24/7, 7 days a week, and you can listen in your car. If you're working out, you can listen while you're working out. You can listen while you're walking in the grocery store. Men, I know you be at the sitting section while your wives and girlfriends are shopping because y'all don't want to walk around the store. You can listen to J. Will Gospel Radio while you're sitting in the men's section at the store waiting on your lady to get done shopping. But ladies and gentlemen, homies and homettes, I have, my God, you ain't gonna believe this. This man is such a musical genius, and I'm so happy to have him with me. None other than Mr. Derrick Mcduffey. How are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
Oh my God, man, I'm good, man. It's so great to have you on.
I'm honored to be on this show.
Yes, sir. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you have questions or comments, if you type those, I'll be able to see those. Now, there's a couple of rules to engagement, ladies and gentlemen, homies and homettes, boys and girls, cats and dogs, squirrels and rabbits. If you type something crazy, I'm not going to ask him because that's not how I roll. If you got a legitimate question that, you want Mr. Mcduffey to answer, then hit me up. LeeWillTheletterJ@gmail.com is my email address, but I type it in the chat box. So, Mr. Mcduffey.
Yes, sir.
Man, where you from, sir?
I am originally from Mississippi, but I've been living in Portland, Oregon 30 years now.
No, man, don't play with me. What part of Mississippi?
Sir. If I told you, you wouldn't know. I'm originally from a small town called New Hebron, but I went to college in Hattiesburg.
Bro, don't play with me, man.
Yes, sir.
Don't play with me, man. Now, you know how small this world is? Guess where I grew up at?
Where?
Mississippi.
What part?
Lumberton.
I know where Lumberton is.
Yeah.
My wife is from Columbia, so I know exactly where Lumberton is.
I know where Columbia is because I was in second jurisdiction and we used to go to Eaton Temple.
Oh, I know exactly. Oh my gosh. I know I've gone to Eaton Temple before.
Yeah, Pastor Chastain is the pastor down there.
Oh my! A good friend that she passed some years ago, but a good friend of mine, Monica Lewis, used to go there.
Monica Lewis was our district music president.
Oh yeah, very talented, extremely talented.
Now I'm gonna go farther than that. When Monica moved to Texas, I became the district minister of music.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. So I work with Monica. I work with Elder Harold. The whole night, because Elder Harold is the music president for second jurisdiction. Man, that's crazy. So
small world.
I know what New Hebron is.
You blink your eye, you miss it.
Yeah, I grew up in Lumberton. I lived in Purvis for a stint.
Okay,
and then I moved to Picayune.
Oh wow!
But I have cousins that have a church down that way called Hart's Chapel.
Hart's Chapel. Okay.
Yeah. So look, man, let me tell you, we probably ran into each other.
Probably so.
And just didn't
know it.
Man, That is so wild, man.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Oh,
sir. But yeah,
man.
I've been in Portland 30 years now. So yeah.
Yeah. Man, man, that's so I left in 2005.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, right after Katrina. And then I
Okay.
moved. Now I'm a Buckeye.
Okay.
I live in Ohio.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
So let's talk about what is your background in music?
Well, I could say all my life. Actually, I started playing piano by ear at the age of 6. So as soon as my mom recognized, she put me in piano lessons. So
Yeah.
she made me learn. She's like, not only if you're gonna pick this up, you're gonna learn how to read piano. As far as read music, as far as and that has taken me far. As far as as far as being a young black man to learn how to read music and play piano as far as that to where like not only I can play by ear but read it as well. So it's opened doors for me. It's for when I moved to Portland, um I got a chance to work with a high school here, Jefferson High School. I came on as a community artist. They had an opening for a community artist, which is right up my alley at the time. So when the choir director found out that I could read music, I became not only the community artist that would teach gospel music, but also I would teach. I would accompany their other music as well. Any other genre that they could sing. I would play that as well. So it opened other doors for me to branch out to be who I am today.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I mean, I, I I think there's a distinct advantage in knowing how to read the music. Now, my sight reading skills are not what they used to be because I don't do it anymore.
Understood.
Um,
Listen, I understand.
yeah, yeah, but helping to understand, a C chord from a G7, how to make
Hmm.
your diminished and augmented and your
Hmm.
seven chords, and
Hmm.
no matter what key you in, the pattern never changes. It's
Not
still
at all.
the same way to make it. So that's pretty interesting, man.
Yeah, not at all. So yeah, it afforded me to a lot of opportunities, but not only that, just being in Mississippi, being around different artists that were coming up. Um, a, a distant cousin of mine, his name is Mark Powell. You probably wouldn't know him. He's a pastor now in the Kojic Church, but it pretty much he gave me a lot of tutelage as far as he knew I had a knack for gospel music. He would sit down and show me different chords, but also I played for a community choir while I was growing up as a teenager called Lawrence County Mass Choir. So we were a bunch of young teens. We didn't have anything to do. So the choir grew to about before I left. I think the choir grew to about 130 members of teenagers. It afforded us to travel throughout the state of Mississippi, and to I think we went to Louisiana as well. So always been a music head for me. I also played in the band in high school.
Oh,
So marching band, of course, marching bands are big in the South.
oh yeah.
So got a chance to play in the band in high school. My senior year, of course, I had senioritis. So I thought I was like, I'm going to get, not do the band for my senior year. So crazy enough, my homeroom teacher at the time was my band teacher.
Oh really?
So I thought I was gonna, get rid of music. So I'm not, people in the South, they was like, if you're not gonna, do manual labor, get something behind your ear and learn do something to where it's gonna make you a lot of money. So my band room teacher's like, he's like, there's no way you can escape music, because I thought I was going to be a lawyer. He said, music. He's like, that's all I see you do. He said, there's no way you can. He's like, you need to follow what's in your heart. So that's what I did. So when I went to college, I went to William Carey College in Hattiesburg.
Yeah.
And so pretty much I started with piano, but also, of course, since you're a music major, they're going to make you take voice as well. So, of course, my voice teacher's like, you need to pretty much really focus on this as well because you have a good voice, but also she said, I really want to push you in this. So like maybe you should do a double major. Of course, life happens. I did a year of college there before moving to Portland. So upon me moving to Portland, my dad, who was a pastor, he passed, unfortunately. But it opened the door for the his best friend, who was a pastor at the time, come down to do my dad's eulogy, and he was asked, "What are you doing?" And pretty much that was the rest is history. Like when he told me, he asked me what was I doing, I told him, was like nothing. At the time I was just grieving, so um, I told him nothing. He's like, "Well, pray about moving to Portland," and I was like, "Okay," and I just left it alone. A month later, he called me back. He's like, "I was serious." So I was like, "Well, let me pray about it." And I was like, God gave me the green light. It's like, what do you have to lose? So freshly married, we moved to Portland. And from there, it opened up so many doors, so many doors, where I got a chance to meet a lot of new people, but a lot of open doors where, like, the schools that I worked at, we got a chance to travel. One of the schools, it ended up performing at Carnegie Hall. All this stuff, to where it's like some of my original members came out of the schools that I worked for as well.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
sir.
Man. So is it cold in Portland?
It is cold and windy right now.
I feel you, man. It's cold in Ohio too. So I know you've always had this gift. I
Mhm.
believe that people. So you have, for me, you have two different types of musicians. You have musicians that didn't know how to play but learned how to play,
Mhm.
but then you have musicians that were born with this gift, and the gift is cultivated.
Mhm.
So obviously, you were born with this gift. You know,
Mhm.
I want to consider myself as being born with the gift because my mother played piano.
Okay.
Both my grandparents sang, and so me and my little baby brother and the brother that was right under me, we all played keys or saxophone or something like that.
Wow. Wow.
Um, so after you found out, man, I think I want to do this. What inspired you to just keep digging? I know you had uncles and stuff, and you were working with the community choirs, but in the South, you're either gonna play football or baseball, and they really. When I grew up in the small town of Lumberton, there was really only female piano players, and so
Mhm.
me as a young male playing the piano, I got labeled as being other stuff
All
because
right.
I'm sup-
Understand.
I'm supposed to be playing football or baseball, something like that. So, how did you deal with that, knowing that God put this inside of you to do? You know,
Um, I think my mom always called me like this brainiac, in a sense. She was like, my older brother, he was the jock, as far as he played football, basketball, he played baseball. I tried basketball a little bit. I tried baseball until I got hit with the baseball, and I was like, I'm done. So, so for that, I was like, no, this is not me. Having to push through those challenging challenges, you got labeled a lot. But once I got to high school, you found others that was like, okay, this is not what I do, but we're in band and stuff like that. So we were sort of nerds, but
yeah,
at the same time, you learn, some that I kept up with, later on in life. So it's like they're very successful in their own right. They didn't really stay with music, but it led them to other avenues for their life. For me, you did see a lot of female piano players, but I did see some male that I would watch, and especially even growing up. As a young kid, I watched them. I watched them play. I would try to mimic what they played,
yeah,
as much as I could, as much as I could remember. But also, I knew if something, as far as with certain choirs, I knew when something was off. I could instantly hear it, and got me in trouble when I was younger because you know in being a PK, you laugh at certain things, and and your parents will watch you. Then you get in trouble when you get home. But my ear was always attentive to voice and to sound all the time. So I had to learn how to navigate through that.
wow, yeah, yeah. It was. I didn't have a choice but to play
Hmm.
because my mom was the minister of music for the church and the district when I was growing up, and
Wow.
I either had to learn the songs or she had the posture of Joe Jackson.
Understood.
Yeah,
Understood.
she's like, okay, you're gonna do this. So, when when did you learn that you can write music?
Um, crazy thing is, I had to be either 15 or 16, 15 or 16 to where my mentor at the time, he's still like a spiritual father to me in a sense. He sort of adopted me almost as his son in a sense. His name is Brian Ewing, Pastor Brian Ewing. So he was a minister, he was a pastor of the church I was ministering music for. He made me minister music by the age of 16 and caught a lot of flack for it because it's family church or whatever. But he knew the gift that I had, and one of the times he was like something I was going through, and he said, "Why don't you write a song?" And song didn't probably make sense, but it made me sit down and write.
Yeah.
Made me sit down and write. So by the time when I got to Portland, being a community artist, it was like you had this liberty to introduce a song that you wrote. So during that time, I introduced a couple songs that I was already working on or whatever. And from there, the rest is history.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, man. So, when did you record your first project?
First project was never released. First project we recorded in 2008 as my old group before I transitioned to the name of Kingdom Sound. It was Derrick, Mcduffey, and Chosen Generation. We recorded in 2008 and couldn't afford to release the project. We couldn't afford to finish the project because, of course, it being an independent artist, a lot of this is coming out of your pocket, or
Right.
those that want to sow into your ministry. So a lot of stuff that it was a learning lesson, a learning curve, but at the same time, it made me learn more about industry, made me learn even the more how to do a thing. So our first released single was 2013 when I changed the name to Derrick, Mcduffey and Kingdom Sound. Our first single was "We Worship You," written by Steve McCoy out of Baltimore. Baltimore, Maryland. He now lives in Portland, but at the time he was living in Baltimore.
So,
And we released our
are you
first.
are you going back to release that first project?
Actually, "Jesus, I Love You" was from that first project.
Really?
Jesus, when we first recorded it, of course we made twists and turns to it, but our first recording of that song was on that first project. So coming back to the original sound of that, I would say Mike Burrell was a brainiac to help bring this back to its original sound, I would say.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the project he just mentioned, "Jesus, I Love You," you have got to hear this song.
Yes, sir.
Go to any of your streaming platforms and download this song and put it in your music library. "Jesus, I Love You" by Derrick, Mcduffey, and Kingdom Sound. I promise you, the first time I heard it, I was so in love with it. But now I want to get back to the rest of them songs that was on that album we didn't release before we get caught up in the new stuff. So, how many songs was on that project? Because now the only reason I'm asking this is because there are songs that God has given you
Hmm.
that people need to hear.
True,
And
true.
I'm one of the ones that need to hear it, you know what I'm saying?
So on that first project, I think it was like maybe 10 or 12 songs on that project. We did the last project we released, the Kingdom Conversations project, we released back in 2020, right on the cusp of right on the cusp of pandemic. When the pandemic hit, we released Kingdom Conversations. Two of those songs were on. We were on our first project we put on there. There was a song called "Holy," written by my MD at the time, Matthew Montgomery. Um, brilliant song. Matthew allowed me to play with it a little bit more. And another song called "Crimson Stain." Those songs, when we first learned it, would take the whole rehearsal to learn it because as far as they have so many intricate parts in it,
Yeah.
a lot of things as far as you're splitting up soprano part, you're splitting up the alto, you're splitting up the tenors towards like sometimes the song will have on one particular line may have 6 parts or whatever. So you had
Yeah.
to learn how the group we were artists or songwriters guinea pigs for a lot of times.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening in and you have comments, go ahead and type those in the comment section, and I will see those. Make sure your comments are appropriate. And if you love strong coffee, go to strongcoffeecompany.com and use the promo code of J Will Podcast and get a 20% discount on all your purchases. So, um, where can the artists, where can the people find Jesus I Love You? It's on all digital platforms, right?
All digital platforms, anywhere you can. If you type in Derrick Mcduffey and Kingdom Sound, that's one of the first songs that'll pop up. If you're a streamer of Spotify or Apple Music, you type in my name, it'll pop up, Derrick Mcduffey or Derrick Mcduffey and Kingdom Sound. The song will pop up. Big ups to, I would say, big ups to as far as our first release project. Big ups to Steve McCoy, who gave us a chance. I first met Steve on the project that we didn't release. I invited him out as a guest artist, and from there, the rest is history as far as allowing me to cultivate my gift as an artist as well.
So, what made you decide to release Jesus I Love You?
Jesus I Love You has always been a favorite of mine. I would say James Hamler, he recently passed.
No,
Actually,
don't say James Hamler.
James Hamler, you probably know him. He's from Purvis. Eventually moved to Ohio, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
He moved to Evansville, Indiana.
Yes, sir. So you know James.
Yeah.
James never did anything with this song.
I'm gonna tell you how I know James. I'm telling you, this is a small world. I was married to James Hamner's second cousin for 24 years.
Really?
Yeah.
So you remember James's choir?
The Voices of Deliverance.
Yes. Could sing the paint off the walls.
Dude, I was probably the dude on the organ.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Because me and my ex-wife used to travel with that group all the time.
Who's your ex-wife?
Kim Williams.
Okay, and I thought you were going to say Angie, because I know Angie Carter as well.
No, she was married to Charles.
Okay, yeah, because I remember Angie, but I always remember Voices of Deliverance, and this is one of the, I guess one of the things I modeled after as far as my coming up. Voices of Deliverance was never this big choir. They are, I would always see them as a few voices, but they would sound like masses.
Yeah.
So it was like they would sound like 20, 30 people. And most time it was like maybe 5 or 6 of them up there and just like paint, blow the paint off the walls.
Yeah. I was most likely to do it on the organ.
Wow.
Because they used to do this song, "Come and go with me in my father's house." In my father's house. I was there, dude.
Wow.
I was there. As a matter of fact, James Hamner actually helped me teach the first song I ever wrote. We was in Laurel at what's
this is crazy. This is crazy that we, oh my gosh.
Yeah, we was in Laurel at one of the at Pastor Bolton's church in Laurel.
Oh my goodness.
Because James Evans was there. Because James Evans was big conductor. He used to be at Nicholson Temple.
Wow, this is crazy.
Dude, this is bananas.
This is small world. Small world.
This is, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not trying to impute the hoogada boogada, but this is Alfred Hitchcock crazy. Man, yeah. So I just went to James's funeral, in Evansville last year.
So when we first released, because we released it on our first project as well, but we updated some terms and we added some stuff to it. But with this one, I wanted to go back to how we originally recorded it, and just Mike Burrell just added a good bop to it. But I remember when I reached out to James, I was like, "Listen, I want to record this." He said, "You remember that song?" I was like, "Yes." I said, "He's like, Jesus, I Love You." Is like, it started out high and never came down. Right. Never came down at all. But yeah, I remember when James wrote it, James presented it at a workshop in Mississippi one time as well. But him and a former choir director the choir I used to sing with as well, called Triumph Gospel Chorale out of Columbia. So a lot of times we would fellowship a little bit with Voice of Deliverance. And I always remember Jesus, I Love You.
Yeah.
always remember it. And I told him, I was like, when I get the chance, I'm going to record it. He's like, sure. He's like, I never did anything. So when I re-released it this time as a single, my goal was to be as true to it as possible, but also add out just certain things I wanted to add. We as far as add that middle part as far as the oh yes, that's like a chant that we added.
Yeah.
And one of my singers, her name is Saida Wright, very 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 well accomplished singer who's done a lot of things outside in and outside of gospel music, and has went on to before his passing, went on to tour with Prince as well. So this is where you get Jesus I Love You, but also this is like a tribute for me. This is my tribute back to James Hamler as well.
Man, dude. So I did a live recording in Picayune at Rosa Sharon Church of God in Christ,
Wow.
and James led a song for me entitled "Lead Me All the Way," a song that I wrote,
Hmm.
and I had not released that song, but
Really?
when James passed, I said I'm going to go back and try to do some edits on it, but keep the originality of the first recording to pay tribute to him. And um, CD Baby, I'll call their name out. They give me a bunch of trouble about releasing this song because they
Really?
can't because they can't find the artist page for James Hamner. So I got another route that I'm going to go to
Okay.
release this song, but that should be coming out shortly. But it's a small world, and it goes to show us that people can influence you
Hmm.
um, for the for the empowerment and the betterment of your musical journey, not
Hmm.
realizing that all those connections uh, that probably influenced us all came from a few sources
Hmm.
of good people
Yes, sir.
being at the
Yes, sir.
right place at the right time.
Yes, sir. For
Man,
sure.
that is so man. I I want to say I was cold why I got them goosebumps, chill bumps, but that ain't why I got them, man. Because it's just funny how you just throw out the name James Hamner. I was like,
Hmm.
wait a minute, man. James Hamner's daddy used to do my taxes.
Really?
I'm telling you, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
His name was Leslie Hamner, and
Wow.
James's name James is Junior, but James just always went by James. But his daddy's
Wow.
name was James Leslie Hamner.
Wow.
Yeah,
Small world.
he's do my taxes.
Small world.
It is bananas. I'm gonna tell my daughter um, that I talked to you, and she's gonna be like, "What?" I got to tell my baby brother, man. His name is Chris. I said, "Man, Derrick Mcduffey recorded one of James Hammer's songs. Listen to this,
Hmm.
dude. This is wild. This is like I'm speechless. We could drop the mic right now, but I gotta go on. If people wanted you to come do a music workshop, I don't even know if people doing music workshops anymore.
Actually,
Or
they do. Actually, my best friend is actually doing one in Seattle at the end of this month. I'm one of the guest clinicians for. His name is Dominic Weems. He actually sings with my group as well. So, because actually Kingdom Sound now is made up of members not only in Portland but also like the Seattle area, or so some of those that used to live in both areas that have moved out. So, like certain big events, they fly back in for our concerts, or like the next recording, they'll if they don't live in the Northwest, they'll fly back.
man, that's crazy. So if somebody wanted to get in contact with you to do a workshop, or
Hmm.
do you have an email address or agent contact information you'd like to shoot out there?
Sure. They can contact me on all social media platforms. If they look up Derrick Mcduffey on Facebook, Derrick Mcduffey, or on Facebook, Derrick Mcduffey and Kingdom Sound, they can contact me either way. Instagram, same way, Derrick Mcduffey. My email address, you can send to dmcduffey@gmail.com. I'm always, everything goes to my phone, so it can instantly reply back.
Okay. Yeah, y'all got that. Say the email address one more time.
DMcDuffey, DMCDUFFEY @gmail.com, or they can reach the ministry page at dm.kingdomsound@gmail.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a guy you have to know. And you got to get him to do some work for you because I
Yes,
listened to
sir.
his project and I was like, oh my God, I was just blown away. But now, you know, knowing that we from from Pearl River County, from the same stomping grounds, and know
Yes,
some of
sir.
the same people, man. And this is
Hmm.
ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
This is really overwhelming emotionally for me. You know what I'm saying? Because
Oh, I get it.
so
I
at
get it.
any rate, you want to get this guy to work on some stuff for you. So are you currently working on any projects?
Honestly, actually, we've been talking about, and our plan is to record our third project this year, our third live recording. So it will be called the Kingdom Trilogy. So you look for it this year. You'll hear more about as far as doing our live recording. Of course, our last single was produced by Mike Burrell out of LA, Los Angeles, California. Great job, great producer. The project before that was Morgan Turner and Ramon Sheldon. They're out of the DMV area. You've heard Morgan Turner on a bunch of different projects, playing bass and playing for everybody, or
Yeah.
producing for everybody. So, and like I said, my first project that we released was produced by Steve McCoy. So we're in some good hands, and of course, we're trying to bring in as well. Linton Weems, he's out of Houston, but he's originally from Tacoma. So God has blessed me to make some great connections along the way as far as being in the industry. It's all about relationship, and God will open the doors if you allow Him to.
So who's your favorite artist?
Sure,
You had to know. You had to have known that question was coming, right?
sure. I have a few. I would say,
Yeah.
people that I've gleaned from to create to help me create my sound. I can go all the way back to Thomas Whitfield.
Oh yeah.
Um, I go all the way back to Thomas Whitfield. Then, of course, who just recently passed, Richard Smallwood. When I first started my group, it was Ricky and James Hall. We did a lot by James Hall and Ricky. Now it's more of who I would say probably my favorite, absolute favorite is probably Donald Lawrence. Donald Lawrence is who I pay attention to. Donald Lawrence make you pay attention to detail.
Right. Yeah. Because how can I put this and not it don't sound like it's negative, but he is probably one of the most OCD people with
Yes.
teaching vocals that I've ever witnessed.
Hmm.
Like he is such a stickler for the
I
details,
agree.
like you say.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, all those people you just called out. I mean, dude. So the first time I heard James Hall, and I can agree with you on him, James Hall has an infusion of tradition, jazz, and classical all encompassed into one orchestration.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
can you imagine me being a minister of music in Picayune, Mississippi, and teaching He Reigns to the church choir?
Oh my gosh, we've done that. We've done He Reigns a couple times.
Yeah. And so, the song is in like E natural.
Hmm.
And so when the music is start, the church was like up clapping. And then once we start singing, right, they like looked, they stopped. It was like, what is this? Yeah, I had a meeting with the pastor after that Sunday morning. He's like, Brother James, what was that song? I said, that's He Reigns by James Hall. And he was like, I've never heard of such. But it was the whole town was kind of traditional. That was like really
Hmm.
progressive. So
Hmm.
I enjoyed that style because it gives me an opportunity to think outside.
Hmm.
As Richard Smallwood,
Yes,
infusing
indeed.
traditional music with classical is
Hmm.
like genius.
Yes.
But of course, you being, the music profession that you are, you could probably agree with this, but all music comes from classical anyway.
And as far as how we're taught, yeah, exactly. How we're taught as far as the terms that we use are all
Hmm.
derived from either Italian or Latin. So
Yeah.
a lot of times, as far as it comes from that classical edge. So a lot of so you heard from that from Richard, you heard that Baroque era as far as in
Yeah.
classical music. James Hall gave a lot of that Baroque, but it was more dark So he gave almost like a gothic sound with it. But
Yeah.
also, but you heard, as far as for me, that the reason why I appreciated James Hall, because it's like if you listen to them, especially when they sang those ballads, they took more of an operatic approach.
Yeah.
Um,
Like great is our God.
yes,
Great is.
yes, indeed. So, and but here's the thing is, because one of my singers sings for the Portland Opera here as well. So the one of the things that you learn as far as how where opera music pulls from, it's similar, very very similar to gospel, because you're taught how to sing big, but also there's a, I would say there's a thin line, but it's very very similar to how they approach it as far as with gospel music. So a lot of times, you hear in the classical, especially in the realms up here, as far as gospel music is not real music. Yes, it is. It
Right, right.
is. And I'm pretty much, I make people appreciate, like, just like you appreciate classical and any other genre, appreciate gospel music, because you wouldn't have some of these other genres if you didn't have gospel music.
Right. So and so Richard Smallwood was notorious for that. Like in the song "Thank You,"
Mm-hmm.
there's this one classical lick in there. No, 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 no. Thank you. And I was like, oh, he throwing classical in there.
Mm-hmm.
But he had a classical background.
True.
I
True.
mean, he had a degree in music,
Mm-hmm.
in classical music but being able to, impress those styles, and I hear that, in your music, you have
Wow.
kind of an infusion, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm. I'll usually, with any project or anything that we do, I always give you a piece of me, whether it be I'm going to throw like something classical in there, or I may throw something with vocal jazz in there, something, so like it's going to give you everything, all facets of me, but it's going to be in the shell of gospel music.
Man, that's awesome. So, if you were to compare yourself to an artist with a similar style, who would it be? I set you up with the other questions, right? Tell
Mhm.
me who your favorite artist is. Now, who do you compare yourself to?
Good question. Good question. Very, very good question.
That's a hard question.
That's very, very hard question. I would say a little bit of Donald and a little bit of Anthony Brown. A little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Even though Anthony don't do as much choir music as he used to, before they changed the name to Group Therapy, because it used to be Answered Prayers. But a little bit of Anthony Brown, a little bit of James Hall. We don't do as much Ricky anymore. But I would say the good thing about my group, uh, a friend of mine that was like, you guys know how to run the gamut, as far as, we'll give you ensemble and we'll give you short and sweet, and a lot of times, but then we know how to bark and squall with the best of them. And
Yeah.
a lot of times we're only, at most, you'll probably have anywhere from 15 to 16 voices.
So let me ask you a question. This is a serious question. How do you get the people that are participating with your group and choir to buy in to what your vision is?
Good question. A lot of times I've watched them along the way. Or they've seen us, they've seen the group. But also, one of the biggest things I push is the presence of God. The biggest thing I push is like God's presence. We're going to
Huh.
push as far as, at the end of the day. Yeah, I'm looking for a certain skill set, but at the same time, I'm looking for anointing. I'm listening for and looking for the oil. I was like,
Right.
okay, if you know how to allow God's presence to sit in the room, this is what I look for. This is what I need.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the
Oh,
same time, I'm going to push them to learn their parts. I'm going to push them like, nope, they don't want Taskmaster Derrick coming out, because that's a different Derrick.
yeah. But to be honest with you, that's kind of what we need
Hmm.
in order to, if we're supposed to give our best as unto the Lord, then you got to have that taskmaster work ethic
True.
in order to
True.
get the songs right. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, don't nobody want to hear, you know, garbage at worship.
True. Here's one of the things I've said and I've done. There's a workshop that I do every year called here in town called Lift Every Voices. A bunch of different churches come together. And it's in honor of Black History, but since the pandemic, it's moved to like September. But it's still in honor of our history of gospel music. One of the things I tell the choir every year is like, we'll go. And whether it's secular or not, we'll go spend hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars to see our favorite artists. And whether it Beyonce, we'll pay good money to see a good show.
Yeah.
I said, but when it comes to gospel music and when it comes to salvation, we think, well, God knows their heart and they'll just expect anything. Not so. Why do we present Jesus on a garbage pail lid?
Yeah. I'm glad you said that, because our expectation should be more coming from the church than it is
Should
circular.
be. Exactly. Because a lot of times, a lot of your secular artists, a lot of times their vocal coaches are gospel musicians. A lot of times their vocal coaches are gospel artists. So they're mimicking a lot of stuff, or they take certain things from what the church already gave.
Yeah, I forget what artist I heard say this, but they asked, it's a circular artist. I forget who it was, but they asked them, who influenced you to be a singer? And they said Kim Burrell.
Kim Burrell does a lot of vocal coaching for a lot of different secular artists.
I was like, wow.
Mhm.
And this is a male. I know it was a male that said this, but Kim Burrell was one of the reasons that he studied vocals so much.
Mhm. Back in the day, and I don't know if she does it as much now, but Melanie Daniels did a lot as well. Melanie Daniels was Mariah Carey's vocal coach,
Really?
and she did back BGVs for Mariah Carey as well.
That is bananas.
So
That is
the
bananas.
famous Christmas song, "All I Want for Christmas," that's
Yeah.
Melanie Daniels in the background.
Really?
It's Melanie Daniels.
Man, I didn't know. I just didn't know. Oh, so ladies and gentlemen, if you just tuned in, something happened to Derrick Mcduffey's buffering. But we've been talking to Derrick Mcduffey about his musical background, uh, about people who inspired him to be an artist. And so, if you have any questions, go ahead and write those in the comments. Don't forget to go to your Play Store on your phone and download the Live 365 app, live365.com app, and then type in J Will Gospel Radio. And once you type in J Will Gospel Radio, you can listen to gospel music 24/7, 7 days a week, from anywhere. You can listen from your phone. You can listen from listen in your car. You can listen in the grocery store, or if you're in the men's section while you're shopping with your wife or your girlfriend. Men, we don't like to shop. You can listen while you're sitting in the men's section. Also, don't forget to go to strongcoffee.com, and if you use the promo code strongcoffeecompany.com, use the promo code JWillPodcast and get a 20% discount on all your products. And you can see I've been sipping on my coffee the whole time with my mug. My wife bought me this incredible Hulk mug that I love drinking my strong coffee out of, and you should want to do the same. So Derrick came back, and then he disappeared again. But ladies and gentlemen, follow my music page on Facebook. If you haven't done so, do so already. James Williams Music. And if you're an inspiring artist and want your music to be potentially featured on my show, send me an email at leewilltheletterj@gmail.com. leewilltheletterj@gmail.com. Send me a mastered MP3 photo and a short bio. And if you want to support my podcast or the radio station, go to $J Will Podcast or via the donate feature on rss.com. And that way you can donate to help me be able to continue to do what I'm doing right now, which is interviewing great people in the Lord. And so that'll what happened. Glad to have you back, sir.
Sorry, my computer died, so I had to jump to my phone.
Hey, no, it's okay. We all experience those. Fortunately, God has given me the gift of gander, and I was able to talk until you got back.
Thank you so much.
So, and this is not this is probably not the best question to ask you after the computer died on you. But as an artist, what are you most proud of?
Honestly, I guess there are two things. Honestly, as far as an artist, I'm most proud of that our music is being played around the world. A lot, and I think we shared. I talked about this earlier. Any spin, especially any radio station, that means there's a new listener listening to your music. We and a lot of times as artists, we'll try to go after the major stations and try to get on the syndicated stations. If you don't, somebody's still listening to your music, to whether it be internet radio station, terrestrial radio station, you honor what God has placed in you, and that somebody is has agreed to play it. The second thing I'm most proud of is the members of Kingdom Sound. A lot of times, as far as artists, we don't push those that help sell the vision and help push your vision. So I'm most proud of them. A lot of them are artists in their own right. I mentioned one of my soloists, Saida Wright, another one of my singers, Dominic Weems. They're both artists and who have singles out and have music out themselves. Who else? Jamelia Bonet. She actually lives in Miami area now, but she's originally from this area. Who's started with us. There's a young singer named Ashley J. Ashley J started singing with us as well. She got to start with our group as far as singing with community groups. Now she sings with Jasmine Sullivan and some of the other artists that are touring the world now. But she started with us. There's another singer named Elijah Winston. He has a single out. Malik Atkins has his own single. He started a choir in the Baton Rouge area, but I think Malik lives in New York now. But all these singers that God has blessed me with have their own projects out. So I'm so blessed. I'm most proud of them just as much as they pushed my music along the years.
Yeah, I when I was when I first started the Unsigned Artist Gospel Show on WKCBFM.com, Malik Atkins was probably one of my first interviews.
Wow.
And he was still in college in Louisiana.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. At Southern.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think the first single I got was Your Name.
Uh-huh.
And yeah.
Uh-huh.
And who laid that song for him? The bald guy. That's how I can remember him. He's a good singer. What's the guy that laid that song on that project? I can't think of it right now. But they were all down there in college together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a small world.
Very, very small world.
As an artist, what are you least proud of?
I would say the least proud of, I would say sometimes but I've learned to say they're learning lessons. As for sometimes they may be expensive learning lessons, but they've made me who I am today in a sense of sometimes the mistakes along the way. But in that, I've learned to pass along and teach that to other artists that are, if they allow me to, let me show you the ropes so you don't have to make the same mistakes I did. Yeah. And a lot of times I'm willing to help push them as far as help push their project, push their single, whatever, the things that I've learned along the way. If I can reach out to some connections as far as radio stations and stuff like that, I do that for them at just no cost. And I'll just, why wouldn't I if I'm leading them or whatever?
Yeah. And feel free to give them my email address.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I am, so a lot of people may not agree with this, and I don't care because I own the radio station. It's my platform.
It's your platform. Yes, sir.
And I'll do what I want to do. And if you don't like it, meet me around the corner and we can have a discussion about it. But I don't charge the independent artists to play their music on my radio station. I only have a few criterias that the MP3 that you send me is mastered and that is good quality music.
Yes, sir.
If it's good music and is greatly produced, or it's produced in the right way and it sounds good, I'll put you on and won't charge you.
Wow.
I know other radio stations that charge people to play their music.
Oh, trust me, I know. Trust me,
And
or hiring a radio somebody to service your music. We did that for the last project when we were pushing our single from our last project, Heaven. So we did that for I think we did it for a quarter. But even if it was on the low side, what we call as for radio servicing, it was still money out of our pocket. And it can get spendy. I would say that.
it can, but I I'm an independent artist,
Hmm.
and I've actually paid people to spin my music on their radio station or on their radio show, and their mindset is, oh well, we got to eat too, and I get that, I
Hmm.
get that, but I have a regular job Monday through Friday,
Right. Right.
and my wife is a nurse with a bachelor's degree,
Wow.
and I still play for a couple of churches,
Hmm.
and I still have other side hustles, so that I already know that you independent people are paying a whole bunch of money to get this stuff produced.
Yes, sir.
You had to pay the guy to do the graphic work and do the photo shoot, and all the musicians are not playing for you for free.
No,
You got
none
to
of them.
get you got to get this stuff mixed and mastered.
Yes,
And so
sir.
you spent thousands of dollars to get your product out there that's going to bless somebody, and
Hmm.
we claim to be God sent, and we're working for the kingdom,
Hmm.
but we're extorting more money from independent artists who are trying to make it. We don't have the money and the financial backing. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening at this message, now I'm not talking about you people who charge all these other folks, but what I will tell you is that J Will Gospel Radio will never charge an independent artist
Wow.
if you have quality music to
Wow.
put your music on my radio station.
To God be the glory.
And that's just facts. Y'all can like me or hate me. I don't care. I'm gonna be 56 years old, and I'm loving every minute of it. And I'm a cranky old dude that I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm just all right. I'll get off my soapbox. Okay. So there's been many changes in the gospel industry,
True.
and more people are becoming independent artists. And it is very difficult for an independent artist to get their music out there. What have been some of your successes with, outside of being extorted for money, getting your music heard by as many people as you can?
I would say the successes came from relationship, but also um, for me, I would say for us, it would say going to like Stella showcases, like during the Stella weekend, especially I think when I first took the group, it was still in Nashville. So it was spendy because coming from Portland to there, but at the same time it's like showing up it like or even when I couldn't take the group, still me go show up, make the connection. Me going all the way back to MySpace days. I reach out to certain artists, make connections or like you develop relationships. So after a while, when you do put out your music, they know who you are. They remember who you are. So so little things like that, to where even going to a different artist recording, show up, just do the little things where like everybody want to. My pastor say, lay down a blunder and wake up a wonder.
Yeah,
Don't happen like that.
right. You I'm laughing at you because you don't mention back in your MySpace days. People don't even know what that is, man.
Hmm. I made a lot of artist connections from MySpace. So like a lot of us would remember each other. So it was like even when my first year going to Sellers by myself, um, I introduced myself to like Kevin Lemons.
Oh
Me,
yeah,
me and Kevin became great friends, but Kevin, we knew of each other. I knew of Kevin Lemons. Me and Kevin Terry knew of each other because of my connection with Steve McCoy. So certain things like by the time I start making connections with people, other people would know who you are.
yeah,
Or they would even though sometimes they may not say anything on your social media, but they're following you. They're paying attention to what you do or how you move in the industry. So little things like that, just like you show up. If you want people to recognize who you are, show up to their stuff, or
yeah,
make the connection, make genuine kingdom connections, they will follow you. They will support you.
And that's what's up, man.
Yes, sir.
So I know there are a lot of independent artists out here who are struggling. Give them a word of encouragement.
So into where you want to go. So into where you want to go. It's not going to happen overnight. A lot of times, like we see everybody, even the ones that hit the scene, you think it happened overnight. If you listen to their stories of how long they've been in this scene, it didn't happen overnight. It just looked like they appeared overnight, but they didn't. They a lot of times, especially for a lot of us independents, a lot of times God keeps us from, back behind the mountain or hidden behind the desert. But like, your time is coming, but you stay diligent to it, but so into where you want to go. If there's somebody you look up to, go show up to their concert, go show up to their recording. So like, you may learn something that you didn't know before it.
Yeah. And that was so eloquently spoken. And I want to add to that. Don't be so offended with constructional criticism.
True.
Because everybody's not trying to hurt you.
No.
And I will say, for those of us that do a lot more production stuff, when we're trying to explain stuff to people, and those of y'all out here listening to me, y'all pay attention to this. This is serious stuff. Learn how to give constructional criticism in a humble way, not in an arrogant way. Because our presentation of giving criticism can offend people, and they're going to miss your whole message.
Very true. Very true.
The Bible says, with love and kindness.
Have you? Come on, sir. Come on.
So it didn't say nothing about being. Me and Derrick are from the country. It didn't say nothing about being mean as a chest-side cat. Did I go country on him? Did I go country? It's not going to draw them. So with love and kindness. We got to do things with love and kindness.
Absolutely.
So, man, I really appreciate this time.
Yes, sir. I enjoyed it.
You got anything else you want to talk about, man? I mean,
no, you did very well. You did very well. I'm excited. I would say I'm honored to be on the show and to learn a fellow Mississippian.
Yeah, I tell you what. So we're getting ready to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Don't hang up, Derrick, because I want to talk to you after this ends. But if you need to get in touch with me, hit me up at leewill@gmail.com. Leewill, @gmail.com. If you want to donate, go to $JWill Podcast or via the donate feature on the RSS.com and check out my music page, James Williams Music. And if you have not done so already, ladies and gentlemen, I promise, go to J. Will Gospel Radio. And if you're an independent artist, send me that mastered MP3 photo and a short bio to leewill@gmail.com. And I promise I will respond to you and get back with you as soon as time permits. Until the next time. Oh, wait a minute. Don't wait till you get sick to go to the doctor. Get yourself checked out. A1C, blood pressure, and cholesterol, and all that good stuff. And men, despite popular demand, you got to get your prostate checked, because prostate cancer is killing, especially black men. And get that stuff checked out. It doesn't mean anything to get your prostate checked out. You'd rather get it checked out than to find out that your TSA level is off. And before you know it, you ended up on chemotherapy and all this good stuff. And get some life insurance. Don't wait until something happens. Don't leave your family strapped in case something happens to you. All right. Until the next time, may the Lord God bless and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you, and may the Lord God give you peace.
Amen.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. For more information about the J. Will Podcast, email jwill@leewill, @gmail.com.